On the savanna, failure can begin with a step taken too confidently. The lion closes in with precise instinct and the familiar pressure of a dominant hunter. But a single delayed judgment can disrupt the entire sequence in an instant. When the lion loses the initiative, the question remains: can strength alone still hold its place at the top? The lion, known as the king of beasts, stands as a symbol of power across the vast savanna. Unlike its solitary relatives, it lives in prides where cooperation defines survival. Males guard the boundaries, while females lead hunts shaped by precise strategy. That division of roles builds a strength that causes many rivals to step back with caution. Yet even at such heights, the throne is still tested by the cost of critical mistakes. Across the sun-swept savanna, the zebra stands as a symbol of wild resilience. Weighing up to 900 pounds, its powerful legs, coiled like steel springs, become a formidable means of defense. It does not rely on instinct alone, but uses endurance, formation, and reflexes to maintain distance from danger. In the dry afternoon, the herd moves across low grass, where shadows conceal hidden risks. From downwind, a lioness closes in silently, then breaks the stillness with a sudden burst of pursuit. The formation stretches instantly, leaving a young one behind and vulnerable to isolation. Yet the mother zebra does not abandon her offspring in that fragile moment. She pivots, shifts her weight, and delivers a precise rear kick that forces the lioness to hesitate. That brief distance is enough for the young one to regain its stride and rejoin the herd. Refusing to let the opportunity slip away, the lioness redirects toward an adult moving out of rhythm. When pressed into a disadvantage, the zebra turns, using its strong bite and solid frame to push back. From being pursued, the zebra transforms danger into a moment of reversal, showing that well-timed resilience can reshape the balance of survival. Dawn on the Serengeti shows no mercy to empty stomachs. When cubs depend on the pride, the pressure to feed pushes lions toward greater risks. This time, the target is not a familiar antelope or zebra, but a hippopotamus. A giant weighing over 3,000 pounds, with a wide jaw and tusks extending beyond 1 foot. While in the water or resting in cool mud, the hippo holds nearly every advantage. The surface conceals most of its body, yet a sudden rise can turn the riverbank into a dangerous boundary. Any step too close is watched, redirected, and forced to stop. Against such strength, the lions understand that courage is not always in the charge, but in knowing when to withdraw. But the dry season shrinks the water, drawing the hippo out longer in search of grass. That creates a rare opening for the lionesses to follow from behind. They spread their formation, testing angles, waiting for a slower moment on open ground. Each surge of pressure is met with short, forceful advances that display the hippo's commanding jaws. In the end, one overly eager move from a blind angle breaks the balance. A single decisive turn is enough to disrupt the hunting formation. When the boundary is no longer safe, the lions pull back, and the hippo slowly returns to the water's edge. Gemsbok, also known as the oryx, is not merely prey on the savanna, but an opponent that turns its body into a solid defensive barrier. With horns reaching nearly 40 inches, it angles its body sideways to narrow the predator's approach. Relying on that advantage, it chooses to stand its ground rather than flee, turning open terrain into a true arena of survival. As two young lions approach with the eagerness of their first hunting lesson, they decide to test the challenge ahead. At a distance of about 15 feet, one accelerates into a direct charge while the other lingers behind to close the angle. Just before contact, the Gemsbok pivots, bringing its horns forward. That movement disrupts the rhythm of the attack, forcing the charging lion to slow, while the one behind loses coordination. Meanwhile, the Gemsbok remains steady on the pale sand, calm as the pressure of the hunt begins to fade. Sensing that the distance is no longer safe, the two predators are forced to pull back. For them, it is not only a missed opportunity, but an early lesson in the cost of a poorly timed approach. If the lion carries the authority of the savanna's king, the African wild dog holds the intelligence of a perfectly coordinated team. With a lean build, large wind-catching ears, and a mottled coat that helps them recognize one another across open grassland, they move as a unified force. Through relentless coordination, they can reach a hunting success rate of up to 80%, placing them among Africa's most efficient predators. That contrast turns every encounter into a contest between individual power and collective skill. Lions often apply pressure not solely to feed, but to reduce direct competition. When wild dogs appear near a food source or close to lion cubs, tension rises immediately. Yet they are not easily subdued. When facing a lone lioness, the pack uses sharp calls and constant movement to draw attention. A few circle behind, approach from both flanks, then withdraw just as quickly, making it difficult for the opponent to maintain control. That cohesion becomes even clearer when one member faces danger. Instead of scattering, the group returns, gathers around, and compels the lion to step back. Even so, When outnumbered by lions, they will abandon a hard-earned meal because preserving the pack remains the true key to survival on the harsh savanna. Gifted by nature with a height reaching nearly 18 feet, the giraffe dominates the savanna like a moving lookout tower. From that vantage point, even the slightest movement of a predator can be detected from afar. Its towering frame not only allows access to fresh leaves, but also serves as an early warning system. Yet this advantage comes with a demanding biological trade-off. The giraffe's heart must generate immense pressure to maintain circulation to the brain, making its long neck a challenge in daily movement. Whenever it lowers its head, the safe distance from the ground nearly disappears. That is when a pride of lions seizes the moment to surge forward. They close in from short range, attempting to latch onto the flanks and disrupt its stride. But an adult giraffe does not yield easily. A single powerful swing and decisive turns are enough to break the approach. When faced with multiple lions, a mother giraffe reacts immediately, using her large frame to shield her calf. In the confusion, limited visibility leads to a misdirected kick that unintentionally strikes her own young. Sensing that brief opening, the lions attempt to separate the mother and shift focus toward the more vulnerable target. However, the forceful defensive kicks demand a high cost of energy from the predators. In the end, unable to close the distance, the lions withdraw, accepting the outcome and leaving the encounter behind. On the African savanna, a large meal rarely belongs to a single species. When a pride of lions claims a large meal and begins to hold control, the ground around them seems to shift in rhythm. From a distance, short, rapid calls echo through the brush. They signal the arrival of spotted hyenas moving into the zone of pressure. An adult spotted hyena weighs around 190 pounds, much smaller than a lion, yet its advantage lies in numbers and endurance. With a bite force exceeding 1,000 pounds per square inch, they spread out and apply pressure from multiple directions, stretching the lioness's defensive line. If a moment of distraction reveals an opening, the balance on the grassland can shift instantly. The tension changes abruptly when the dominant male lion appears. With a commanding roar and imposing stance, he draws a clear boundary that forces the hyenas to reconsider. Any individual that lingers too long or drifts too far from the group risks being caught off balance by a sudden advance. Under that pressure, the hyenas choose to step back and preserve their strength. This cycle of competition extends far beyond a single meal, spanning territories through each hunting season. lions often apply pressure near hyena den sites, while hyenas remain alert to isolated or younger lions. On this unforgiving land, survival does not favor the loudest, but those who remain patient and choose the right moment. No movement beneath the ground escapes the eagle's watchful eyes. From high above, it folds its wings and dives like an arrow slicing through the air. Every strike combines remarkable speed, razor-sharp vision, and flawless judgment. When its territory is challenged, the eagle closes in, forcing its rival to retreat. What makes this aerial warrior the most formidable master of the skies? Across river systems and coastal ecosystems, fish are an essential food source, accounting for approximately 80% of a sea eagle's diet. Every successful catch is more than instinct at work. It is a vital effort to sustain the energy needed to power wingspans that can approach 7 feet. From high above, the eagle patrols with remarkable patience, keeping its full attention on the calm surface below. Thanks to its exceptional eyesight, it can detect even the slightest movement of prey nearly 2 feet beneath the water. The predator subtly adjusts its wing beats to match the wind, maintaining perfect balance before committing to a carefully calculated dive. When the moment is right, the eagle descends like an arrow at speeds of up to 80 miles per hour. Compensating for the effects of light refraction, its talons seize the target in an instant before lifting powerfully back into the air. It is a display of extraordinary precision, where the laws of physics become an enduring tool for survival. Yet sea eagles do not rely solely on direct hunting. At times, they choose to observe and apply pressure to other water birds, taking advantage of opportunities to obtain food while conserving valuable energy. In the wild, rabbits are far from the fragile creatures many people imagine. Nature has equipped them with long ears that can rotate independently, allowing them to detect even the faintest sounds from far away. Their eyes, positioned on the sides of the head, provide an almost panoramic field of view, enabling them to recognize danger long before a predator closes in. The moment an eagle's shadow sweeps across the grassland, the pursuit quickly intensifies. The rabbit immediately relies on sharp zigzag turns, abrupt changes in direction of nearly 90 degrees, and leaps reaching almost 8 feet to disrupt the predator's approach. Each rapid maneuver forces the eagle to calculate every move with precision, combining keen vision, speed, and exceptional spatial awareness. The golden eagle, however, does not pursue recklessly. Instead, It calmly reads the rabbit's path, cuts ahead of its route, and waits until the chase reaches the edge of the forest, where obstacles become more numerous. In a brief instant, the ruler of the skies lowers its wings, makes a precise approach, and gains control of the situation. With a success rate of about 20% against adult rabbits, every successful hunt reflects patience and precise timing. That nourishment helps sustain the next generation growing in the nest. Within the dense rainforest canopy of South America, the harpy eagle turns hunting into the art of a silent ambush. Rather than pursuing prey across open skies, it weaves through narrow gaps between branches to approach howler monkeys. These primates, weighing up to about 30 pounds, possess keen hearing and a highly organized alarm system. As a result, even the slightest mistake can bring the hunt to an immediate end. The eagle selects a heavily covered branch near the monkey's feeding area and remains completely still for hours. It draws its body inward, using the surrounding foliage to conceal its nearly 7-foot wingspan. As the rainforest grows quiet once again, the monkey troop gradually becomes accustomed to its surroundings and begins to lower its guard. At precisely that moment, the harpy eagle shifts from patience to action. Flying low through the middle canopy, it approaches from a blind angle where the prey has little time to react. With 5-inch talons, the eagle secures its target among the narrow gaps between swaying branches. This strategy creates pressure not only for howler monkeys, but also for slow-moving sloths high in the treetops. Deep within the rainforest, speed is not always the deciding factor. The true lesson of survival lies in constant awareness, because a single moment of inattention can make every advantage disappear. On the steep rocky slopes of the Alps, mountain goats stand among nature's greatest masters of balance. Despite weighing many times more than a golden eagle, they confidently make the most rugged cliffs their home, believing those towering ledges provide an untouchable refuge. Yet that very confidence in the terrain creates an opening for one of the wilderness's most refined hunting strategies. From thousands of feet above, the golden eagle's keen eyes track a family of antelopes moving across the edge of the open grassland. The moment a young antelope drifts away from the herd, the ruler of the skies folds its wings and dives. At around 150 miles per hour, the eagle turns its dive into psychological pressure, startling the prey, throwing it off balance, and stripping away its advantage. In that moment, the terrain that once served as a shield becomes a severe challenge. The young goat slips from the rocky ledge and falls nearly 300 feet into the valley below. Similar encounters show that the eagle succeeds through patience and an exceptional ability to exploit its opponent's fear. After the encounter, the eagle carries nourishment back to the nest, completing another cycle of survival in the mountain wilderness. Across the grasslands of East Africa, antelopes rank among the savanna's finest athletes. Capable of sprinting at speeds of around 50 miles per hour and leaping nearly 10 feet into the air, they appear well equipped to outrun danger. Yet across the vast open plains, a single moment of drifting away from the herd can quickly turn freedom into a dangerous vulnerability. High above, the martial eagle reads the savanna like a constantly shifting map. With an impressive wingspan exceeding 6 feet and eyesight up to 8 times sharper than a human's, the predator quietly fixes its attention on a young antelope falling behind the herd. In an instant, the eagle folds its wings and plunges downward at remarkable speed, turning surprise into its greatest advantage before the young antelope can recognize the threat descending from above. High above, the martial eagle reads the savanna like a constantly shifting map. With an impressive wingspan exceeding 6 feet and eyesight up to 8 times sharper than a human's, the predator quietly fixes its attention on a young antelope falling behind the herd. In an instant, the eagle folds it. At the top of the food chain, the eagle stands as a proud symbol of freedom. Yet when territory is challenged, its most formidable rival can sometimes be another eagle. Across the cold northern skies, a white-tailed eagle and a golden eagle converge over a resource-rich hunting ground. With no room to retreat, they engage in an aerial contest to establish territorial control and secure access to food. Powerful wing beats, mid-air talon locks, and sweeping pursuits turn the sky into a stage of relentless maneuvering. In the end, a single mistimed movement is enough for the weaker eagle to lose its advantage and withdraw from this vital hunting territory. Nature's harshness is also reflected in the precarious nests high above the ground. When food becomes scarce, the forces of natural selection begin to take effect. Guided by their most basic survival instincts, the young eaglets must prove their resilience. In the wild, there is little room for leniency. Only the most resilient individuals are strong enough to inherit their place as rulers of the sky. In the wild, venomous snakes are masters of stillness, equipped with some of nature's most sophisticated chemical defenses. In certain species, venom can be projected as far as 10 feet to protect their territory. That silent presence creates invisible pressure, encouraging almost every potential rival to keep its distance. Yet one of the most formidable natural rivals of venomous snakes comes from the skies. Across Africa, eagles, especially the snake eagle, do not rely on superior size. Instead, they depend on dense feathers, heavily scaled legs, and the ability to maintain a safe distance during every approach. With a gripping force of around 400 pounds per square inch, the eagle gains control of its prey in a decisive instant. Its success, however, comes not from raw strength, but from controlling the most dangerous point before the snake has a chance to respond. Even highly venomous sea snakes must eventually rise to the surface to breathe. From a commanding position overhead, the eagle quietly scans the water, lowers its flight path, and makes a precise approach. Once the snake is lifted from the ground or the water, its ability to respond effectively quickly diminishes. That is the remarkable art of adaptation practiced by the ruler of the skies. In just a few brief moments, the hunter becomes the focus of a precise counter-response. The lion can no longer maintain its approach and is forced to withdraw from the contested space. The opponent does not need a size advantage. Well-timed composure is enough to disrupt the attack. This outcome shows how overconfidence can become a hidden weakness for a predator. If this story leaves a lasting impression, like and subscribe for more wild encounters.